Welcome back to this Free-for-All Friday edition. Focal Point, AFR Talk. Brian Fisher's my name. Number to call if you want to join the conversation, 888-589-8840. Free-for-All Friday. We'll talk about anything that's on your mind as long as it is somehow related to what's going on in our culture. 888-589-8840 is the number to call. Now, President Obama got himself into some trouble yesterday. He was at a fundraiser in San Francisco with the Attorney General of California by the name of Kamala Harris. And she's an attractive black woman. And he made the point several times, according to press reports, that she is attractive. And he made this direct statement: she is by far the best-looking Attorney General in the country. It was the point. It's true, he says. And the crowd laughs. And, of course, he emphasizes that. And this has generated a considerable amount of discussion about his sexist tendencies and maybe the sexist tendencies in the White House. Washington Post has got a story that reminds us of some of the complaints about the Obama White House. Female staff members, this is Scott Wilson, Washington Post. Female staff members complained internally about the macho feel of the West Wing in his first term. In his book, Confidence Men, by writer Ron Suskind, he quoted former White House Communications Director Anita Dunn. She's the one that loved Mao Zedong. And she said the West Wing, quote, would be in court for a hostile workplace. It actually fit all of the classic legal requirements for a genuinely hostile workplace to women. And by the way, speaking of Obama's war on women, 315,000 women dropped out of the workforce in March. You talk about a war on women. President Obama is driving women out of the workforce month by month. Now, here is Michelle Obama, clip 7, Rob. Michelle Obama yesterday, and listen to the slip of the tongue that she makes. This is a bad time for this kind of a slip of the tongue when her husband's on the other side of the country kind of publicly flirting with the Attorney General of the state of California. Let's listen.
So we have to deal with the question of access. And believe me, as a busy single mother, or I shouldn't say single, as a busy mother, sometimes it, when you got the husband who's president, it can feel a little single, but he's there. But as a busy working mom, and before coming to the White House, I was in that position, as well, working, driving kids to practice, not having enough time to shop or cook, not having the energy. The resources weren't the issue, but time and energy is key.
So that's Michelle Obama talking about being a single mom or feeling like she's a single mom. Will Smith is married to Jada Pinkett Smith, and she was out there today basically saying that they have an open marriage. She lets Will do whatever he wants to do as long as he will let her do whatever she wants to do. I've always told Will, you can do whatever you want as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and be okay, because at the end of the day, Will is his own man. I'm here as his partner, but he is his own man. He has to decide who he wants to be, and that's not for me to do for him, or vice versa. So apparently they've given each other freedom to experiment when they are apart. Let's go to our phones, 888-589-8840. Let's go to Mike in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Mike, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me again today. It's great to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind?
Hey, the reason I'm calling is because I wanted to raise awareness about a slightly sensitive issue that I encountered. I'm a Marine here at Camp Lejeune, and I don't want to use any names, but I work with a openly gay homosexual Marine who has a YouTube channel. I don't know how popular it is, but he makes videos about being openly gay in the military. Well, I found out recently that a couple weeks ago he put a video up on his YouTube channel where he was telling homosexuals who are interested in the military that the Marine Corps would be a great place to come because that they would get to see other men naked in recruit training.
Oh my gosh! So
yep. And it was such a sensitive issue that the Commandant of the Marine Corps himself apparently called down to our company first sergeant and demanded that Marine immediately take the video off of his YouTube channel.
But he's still in the Marines.
What was that?
He's still in the Marines.
Yes, he's still in the Marines, and one of the reasons I called and wanted to raise awareness about this issue is because I've been seeing a lot in the media lately about the success of the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the military, and I want your listeners to know it's not really all that hunky-dory. When it first came down from the DOD that they were going to be repealing this, we got briefs, PowerPoint presentations from our company commanders and company first sergeants, and the gist of what they told us, to sum it up briefly, is you're going to like it or you can get out, but you better not say anything because we're going to be looking for somebody to make an example out of, and we will punish you publicly in front of all your buddies if you say anything to these homosexual Marines once they start coming out. So,
you know, Mike, what that tells me is that they knew that they were going to get a lot of blowback. They knew that this was not something that was going to be a policy that was going to be embraced by the rank and file soldiers, the point of the spear. They understood and they knew that there was going to be a reaction. There was going to be some brushback from the guys that were going to actually day in and day out live with the implementation of this policy. So all that smoke they were blowing in the air about how everybody's going to be fine, everybody's going to roll with it, everybody's going to embrace it. Well, apparently the only way that's happening is intimidation and threats.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Brian. And I'm in the infantry, so we're the ones that, we're on the front lines doing the fighting. And for myself, most of the men that I work with are not comfortable with the fact that we have to share communal showers with other men and other close proximity things and see each other, without a lot of clothing on and have no say in the matter. It goes against our feelings, and it goes against our religious beliefs, a lot of us.
Well, and that's something we talked about when the Don't Ask, Don't Tell issue was being debated, Mike. One of the things we talked about is one of the reasons this is a bad idea is because it introduces sexual tensions into intimate shared quarters like showering facilities and barracks and all that kind of thing. And here you've got a guy putting videos up on YouTube saying, hey, you're gay, you like ogling other men, here's the place to come. Come to the Marines, Yep. Join the Marines, and you can feast your eyes to your heart's content.
Yep, that's exactly it, Brian. And the Marine Corps must have known it was going to be bad for business, or else why would the commandant himself call down and tell him to take that video down?
Now, let me ask you one last question before I let you go, Mike. I really, really appreciate your call very much. One of the concerns that I think we've had is sort of the long-term effect on the military. You're looking at the Marines. We've been very concerned about the impact on retention as well as on recruitment, that there are guys that are going to do their time and they're going to say, look, this is not the Marine Corps that I joined. I don't like what's going on here. I don't like the dynamics. I don't like what's being celebrated and embraced here. I was planning to re-up, but I'm not going to do it. And then others who are going to say, look, I'm not sure I want to join a military that's got this kind of open door policy with open homosexuals because I've got to share intimate living quarters.
Mm-hmm. Brian, I think you just hit the head right on the nail there. I can't speak too much towards the recruitment, but retention, I have known and seen and probably myself plan to get out because of changes to the open homosexual policy. And now they're talking about introducing women into combat, which nothing against women, but biologically it's been shown in study after study they can't withstand on their bodies the trauma that we have to go through for the training.
Well, I had a story yesterday, Mike, about another Marine infantry training test, and 112 Marines, including, I think, 2 women, signed up for it, and neither of the women could pass. I mean, 12 of the men didn't pass. 96 out of the 110 passed the course, but it's so grueling. And the demands on stamina and all that are so high, so stringent, that there's probably no woman. I mean, God just did not make women with the skeletal structure and the upper body strength to be able to do what you guys in the infantry have to be able to do.
Yeah, that's really it, Brian. And it's just like you said with the retention. I've known some really great Marines that have gotten out, and I consider myself a pretty well-rounded Marine with a lot of knowledge. Been praised by my superiors, and I love training new Marines, junior Marines, but with the way the government is going with all these new policies, I feel like I've just got to get out and move on to something else, and I'm going to take all that experience with me, and that's going to hurt, future generations of Marines.
All right, Mike. Well, listen, I'm, very sorry to hear that. It grieves me to think that we're going to lose a quality soldier like you. We absolutely understand it. We predicted this was going to happen, going to weaken our military. Well, listen, Mike, I appreciate your call very much and the information. Thank you for your service, and And God bless you. I'm sure God will guide you as you make decisions about your future. So thanks for the call, Mike.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. All right, let's see if we can wedge one more call in. Let's go to Jerry, Gulf Shores, Alabama. Jerry, what's on your mind?
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
It's good to talk to you, and I too appreciate this show and AFR. Listen, you touched on something a while ago about how few of the of our society, of our population, is getting major things done. Just so happened, me and my preacher friend, his name is Otis, were talking about something similar last night. Of all the shooting tragedies that we can remember right off the top of our head, and mind you, they are tragedies. I'm not making light of this. We can recall probably 6 to 10 right off the top of our heads. But how many people were killing the people? There were 6 to 10 people killing people. And with abortion over, with the Roe v. Wade, that was one case. How many people, that was like just say against one person.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, I'm saying there's 20 people that have changed major things in the United States of America. Where are the Christian people? What are we doing?
Well, and I appreciate your agitation there, Jerry, and I share that completely. And, it is a travesty. It's an absolute travesty that we've even accepted the fact that 9 black-robed tyrants, and it's going to come down to one probably, Anthony Kennedy, that we even accept as a working hypothesis that one man or 9 people wearing black robes have the right to decide and dictate to 315 million Americans what marriage policy ought to be. That's absurd. That's ridiculous. That's not we the people. First words in the Constitution are we the people, not we, the black-robed tyrants sitting in a courtroom in Washington, D.C. That's not what America is all about. It's about people in their local communities and in their states deciding marriage policy. Focal Point AFR Talk, back after the news.
American Family.